Well, hello, my Teaserking family. Hope everybody's well today. I pulled them off and went 2 for 2 yesterday, 100%. What a scam. The SEC and JP Morgan's in on the Madoff scam, and nobody questions it. Nobody questions the SEC on the fix. Unbelievable. Just how stupid people are. So, let's look at last night's games. We got the Niners 41-23, win by 18. I think I was dead on a score. It just got higher. I think I said 27 to 10, which is a 20-point, 17-point win. They won by 18, easily covering it, just as I thought. Purdy had a good game. DB Samuel had a good game, and McCaffrey, and Seattle had a good offense. That's why I was shocked the way the Rams handled them. But they showed their offense yesterday, which I knew. Metcalf. See, look at the Niners' problem, right? So what do we take away from the game? They couldn't handle Metcalf. He had a lot of touchdowns, a lot of passes. So next round, they're going to play. Let's say they play. Tampa will play Philly if they win. They will get Minnesota if Minnesota wins, who has Jefferson. So that's going to give the Niners a little bit of a problem, apparently. See, we always look for strength and weakness. We always do art of war. It's critical because you must look at the matchups of the games to figure out. You can't look at the brand. You got to look at the matchup, which is what I stress. So Frisco, there's winner one, 41-23. We have them over under 42. I really don't look at it because I don't know what to do. I know Seattle's an over, and I know the Niners are an A team. So that's where the 16 defense gives up 23 points, which is about right. I mean, it's an average 16. But Frisco really scored a lot, which you would expect against the weak defense of Seattle. So the score was about right. It was a little higher, but obviously 42.5. They went way over that, 64. Then you got Jacksonville, San Diego. I nailed that game. I got San Diego plus 4.5. They go up 27-0. My man Trevor Lawrence, 4 interceptions, and they're still trying to make him sound like he's good. Well, he threw 4 touchdown passes. Well, when you looked at the game, what did he do? He threw a bunch of 5-yard passes. He had one decent long pass. The guy was wide open, so, he's a great quarterback because he can hit a wide open receiver. Really? Excuse me, I'm doing my first eat of the day, my breakfast. So anyway, here's San Diego's problem, right? They get up 27-0. How are they going to make this close? Because we know they play close games as they won. And if you bet on them or bet against them, you won with San Diego. It's amazing. Minnesota's right behind them with the same. It'll be a close game in Minnesota. It's just they get up 27-0 and they stop playing and they stop blitzing. In the second half, their defense should have been blitzing. I saw they did most of the time have a 4-man rush, but Trevor Lawrence can only beat you with the 3 or 4-man rush if you don't blitz. If you blitz, the guy can't do anything. That's what happened in the first half. They blitzed him all over. They rushed 5 and 6. He throws 4 picks. Second half. Where's the blitz? You need to blitz him because he can't read it and there's nothing he can do with it. He's just going to throw the ball on the ground. They ran Anthony a lot, who you're down 27-0, didn't quite understand that. This guy throws 45 passes, Trevor Lawrence, with 4 interceptions. So you tend never to win those games. San Diego had a chip shot field goal they missed. Maybe that changes the outcome, maybe not. So they go up 33 to 20, I think, at the point. And so they scored, and they got the 33-28. They probably win 35-33. At the end, they're gonna score the touchdown instead of settling on the field goal, possibly. But the way San Diego was playing, they couldn't stop them because they stopped blitzing. What's your strength? Khalil Mack, Bosa. Use them. So I'm not totally surprised Jacksonville scored 30 points because San Diego doesn't have a defense. This is my point with over teams. You can't trust them because they're defense. We assume with Bosa back, he would take a few points away, which he did. He made some sacks. He made that interception in the beginning. So San Diego's a 25 defense, which means they give up 25 a game, which is not – the Niners give up 16. But look what happens. Even the Niners giving up 16 gives up 23 to a strong offense of Coach Pete. San Diego and over, Jacksonville and over, we get a high-scoring game. That's what we expect. We did like the over in the game, 47 down to 41. But at that price, I like San Diego. Now you can see why. If Jacksonville was a 3-point favorite, I would have locked San Diego in 9. It was the lock. This was lock number 1 was San Diego and 4.5. I played it at 4.5 and I played it at 4. So this was a lock with somebody going today. We'll say that. So the 41 is an easy because they're both over teams, right? Lawrence, as bad as he is, they score that 20 points. Even they're down, they still scored the 20. So it looks like they'll play, they're the 4 seed, so they'll play Kansas City after Kansas City. Well, Kansas City's the 1 bye. So it'll be KC and, well, unless Miami beats Buffalo, Buffalo and Cincinnati wins, that's the 2-3 seed in Buffalo next week. So Jacksonville's the 4. So if either Miami or Baltimore win, they'll go to Kansas City, and then Jacksonville gets they'll get whoever wins between, So Jacksonville, if they both lose, which is never going to happen, then Jacksonville would actually host a wild card game. But more than likely, you're looking at more probably Buffalo's not losing to Miami and Cincinnati's not losing to Baltimore. So more than likely, you're looking at Jacksonville, KC, which is another over game. Buffalo, Cincinnati also is an over game, and I like the dog there, provided everything goes the way it should go. Frisco will be the 2 seed, so they're going to host if Minnie wins. Tampa's the 4 seed. Dallas is the 5 seed, so the winner there should go to Philadelphia, unless the Giants win, which could happen, and the Giants go to Philly. And Tampa's got Frisco. Tampa would much rather play Frisco or play Philadelphia than Frisco. You don't want to play Frisco. It's going to be them and Cincy in the Super Bowl. Those are the best 2 complete teams: offense, defense, quarterback. The only problem with both teams are the coach sucks, but what are you going to do? So Jacksonville comes from behind, wins by 1. We have 3.5, 4, 4.5, which is the beauty. That's why you go over 3. If it did go to overtime and they kick a field goal, we win anyway because we had 4. So it really wasn't going to be an issue. We get the over. So we're 2-0, and these were in separate teasers because one was a lock bet for more, which is what I keep stressing. Hey, Greg and John. I'm fine. I ended up doing a 75-hour fast. I didn't eat till 6 o'clock and enjoyed the games. And Nothing surprised. I mean, San Diego doesn't surprise me when they blow a lead because they don't know how to win. They don't know how to they shouldn't. It's 27-0. Why didn't they get to 40? Or look what Georgia did, right? They get up 38-7 at half. They made it 60, right? Why did San Diego stop scoring? Why did they stop playing? Why did they stop blitzing? I mean, this is bad coaching, and that's San Diego's problem. Because whenever you see a team like that, and you see they're great, they're 88% with or 88% against. What the fuck is that? How are you? You're either they're for as much talent as they have, the coaching's terrible there. Lombardi, he doesn't. He was the offensive coordinator of the Lions. He sucked. All right, he's not Vince Lombardi, just Lombardi. Okay, so let's look at today's lines. So I'm expecting Buffalo and Cincinnati to follow Frisco, and then I'm expecting San Diego, Jacksonville to follow the other two games. All right, so we got Buffalo 13.5, 44.5, up from 43.5, which was down before. I believe it's Skylar Thompson. I know Tagliavua is out. Let's see if it says anything. So an offensive tackle is out, another one's questionable. Bridgewater now he's questionable with the knee. This is funny. He was questionable with a shin and a finger and an oblique, and now he's questionable with the knee. Limited impact. So Bridgewater, he ain't playing. Another cornerback out with the Achilles, linebacker out. Mozart, the good running back, out. Bradley Chubb, a good linebacker, is questionable. Myles Gaskin, another good running back, out. Linebacker out. Never heard of. Tagliavua out. Never heard of. So a bunch of never heard ofs. So if I look at Buffalo, is there anybody? Well, first let's see what our line is. So there's 13.5. There's some 14s and a 13.5. So there's a lot of 14s out there. So if you can get a 13.5. Now, what my my friend did, who I get 20% of, was able to do. I mean, he must have done a 7-point teaser because I got Buffalo minus 6.5 here. So again, this is the free pick. Now, this is why we bet it early. This is why the sharps bet it early at the right point spread and not stick around to betting it 5 minutes before kickoff. And then you guys can say, oh, well, we don't really know if it's the sharp better or not. And we're just saying sharp action. And then we see sharp. The definition is 55% is embarrassing. If I only picked 55%, I wouldn't bet football, and I wouldn't be here. I mean, I'm in the 70s and with teasers, but they make a hell of a. I won the San Diego game because I teased it. That's why we tease it, and I was correct on it. Yeah, so it looks like Skylar Thompson and against Josh Allen. So Skylar Thompson. Any injuries to Buffalo? We know Von Miller, Micah Hyde are out. Isaiah McKenzie's questionable. So nothing major. Buffalo 13.5, 40. So Buffalo, the 2 seed at home, against a third string quarterback. So I can't play the game over, which I like. Buffalo's an over team. Their defense sucks since they lost Von Miller. And so they're just an offensive team like Kansas City. Miami is really now, we're going to call them a W team. They're an over team with Tagliavua, but they're a W team without it. With Skylar Thompson, don't expect a lot of points, but expect a bad defense. So that's why you got Buffalo, this A team with kind of a weak defense against Miami, who's now a W team without the quarterback. And you have to adjust ratings based on who's playing. So if he's out, you've got to adjust the rating there. I can't call Miami an over team. That's what Tagliavoa, who they don't have. So therefore, it is not an over team. So I can't bet over 38, which I would have wanted, which it probably will go over anyway, because Buffalo's defense is so bad. Miami still scores. So we got a good 20-point win here. What do we say, like 37-10? That's what I believe the score will be, 37-13. That's a nice 20-point win. Now, I believe guessing the score is very valuable. I hit the score against the Niners with the Niners saying they won by 17, they won by 18. I hit the score with San Diego saying it would be a very close game, which it was. Shouldn't have been, but it was. Here, Buffalo in a blowout. Minnesota Giants, again, 31-30 game. Cincinnati, Baltimore, 27-10, about right. And Dallas and Tampa by, 24-21. Tampa. So if you guess the scores and then the spread makes sense, then it kind of guides you to the over-under and the pick. So if you don't think Minnesota is going to kill the Giants, it's going to be a close game. You probably even think the Giants can win, which I would have played had they not laid down. Cousins is just like Herbert. He'll get his scores. He'll make a lot of good completions, and everybody's, wow, what a good quarterback. But he doesn't get the wins. He has a problem winning the game, putting the game away, understanding the defense, understanding when the blitz is coming, understand how to get rid of it, understand where the defense is at a zone or a man, what I need to do. The receivers need to run these crossing routes on these zones. I mean, that seems to be the new play. The guy's in the right slot. He comes up 10 yards and he crosses the field, and he's wide open apparently every time. That play should be called every time. Why it isn't, it's just terrible coaching. So we got Buffalo 13.5, should be a blowout. We've got Mini 3, 47.5, down from 48.5 maybe, or it was, and it all came together. So 47.5. I think you got to go over in the game. Minnesota, San Diego, high-scoring team, weak defense. Also at 25. This is the exact stats of San Diego. The Giants are pretty similar to the Jacksonville. They're an even team, not an over. They don't have the receivers that Jacksonville has. They're a 22 defense. So you think they have a good defense, but they're not that. I mean, they gave up Washington 20 points and Dallas a lot and Philly a lot. So look for Minnie to score. They're not going to shut down Minnie, but Minnie's not going to shut down. So I think over is the best way to play it. I would have taken the Giants in 9 if they didn't lay down last week, because I don't think they can turn the switch. However, I can't trust Cousins. She'll throw 3 interceptions. Like Lawrence yesterday, he throws 4 interceptions, and they're all like, "Oh, he's such a great player." I'm like, well, he threw 4 touchdowns. Yeah, they didn't blitz. They were sitting on the lead. They were giving him half the shit. So he had 1 good touchdown. It was like a 20, 30-yard throw. Otherwise, it was just dinking and dunking Trevor Lawrence, 5-yard passes, which San Diego took away in the first half. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking in the second half, and how they lost. With that team, it's an embarrassment. The coaches should be fired. They have that much talent, Bosa and Khalil Mack and James, as well as your offense. Why didn't they run Eckler on that second drive? He throws 3 passes and it's a field goal. When they couldn't stop, they couldn't tackle Eckler. Then where's Eckler in the second half? Why aren't you giving him? Why is that other guy in the game? The guy from Joshua Kelly. What the fuck's he doing in the game? Keep Eckler, and what are you saving him for? Is the playoffs. So they blame them, blame the coaches. They're just terrible. So again, Minnesota 3. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be 30-27 again. I like the game over. I really can't trust either team. I think they'll both. You can't trust them, so therefore you can't. You can't do anything with it. So go over with that game. Cincinnati 8.5, 40.5. You got no Lamar Jackson. Huntley, I believe, is playing. Let's take a look. Well, let's take a look at the lines. 8.5 everywhere. I don't understand why it went under 9 unless they think Huntley is really going to be a big difference maker. Let's go. Baltimore injuries. Now we know Lamar's out. Linebacker out. Tackle out. Who's been out. Kyle Fuller out with the knee. Defensive tackle out. Linebacker Beagle out. Lamar out. Duvernay out. Tyler Huntley. Huntley was a full participant in practice on Friday. Questionable with a shoulder wrist. Must not be too bad. Wallace out with the hamstring. Big Bateman out. So you know Lamar's out. So it's not like you got to worry about him. Let's look at Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Reds. Bobby's team. Hey, Nick. Yeah, wasn't it? But that's why we play teasers, right? See, the teaser, the fix is the regular line, not the teaser line. So that's why another advantage of the teaser, because they're not fixing the teaser, they're fixing the line. So San Diego lays down in the second half. The coach should be fired. The defense didn't put the same blitz on that cost 4 interceptions. And you didn't run Eckler, and where was Herbert? They were sacking. Why are they sacking him? You're up 27-7. Why are you getting sacked? Why aren't you running Eckler, throwing the ball to Keenan Allen? Little plays. They throw it too much. They go for it on fourth down way too fucking much. The fourth down play by Jacksonville, okay, I can see why they did it. They were down. I'll excuse that one. There was one earlier in the game I didn't understand. And where was the San Diego defense on that? Where was Khalil Mack or Bosa? They got both ends. Where were they on a 4th and 1? Why were they worried about the middle? They got other players for the middle. That run should never have worked. Bad call. You got lucky on it, but a bad call. But yeah, again, Nick, we won with it and we hit the lock. So that's all we care about. Cincinnati, anybody out? Offensive tackle out. Awuzie, he's been out for a while. Cat guard has been ruled out for an ankle. And that's it. What I liked yesterday was that San Diego's tackle was also from Georgia, and he practiced against the big stud, the Georgia defensive end. He shut him right down. But that shows you how good Georgia is. The only player that can stop the all-pro defensive end is their own tackle because they practiced against each other for 2 years or 3 years. That's how good Georgia is. That's a look at how good their lineman is. So all these idiots go to Alabama for talent. They should be going to LSU and Georgia and UCLA and Utah for talent. Why do they go to Alabama is beyond me. If you think that quarterback's going to help you, you're mistaken. And I want to make one quick point. I'll get back to Cincinnati in a second. Is the only way now look at Tom Brady. What have we bitched about at New England? He never had a receiver, but he made them good. What do we bitch about Rodgers? He doesn't have receivers. He loses Devontae Adams. Not a problem. So these quarterbacks don't need the receivers. But what does Tagliabue and Lawrence need? Tagliabue, they get Tyreek Hill and Waddle so he can look good. And he still doesn't look good. He's still throwing 4 interceptions. And then we've got we've got Lawrence, who needs Marvin Jones Jr. from Detroit, some other guy. I can't even name the guys, a bunch of nobodies. But they get him 4 receivers to help him because he sucks. Because these are all pro receivers. So it doesn't, Tom Brady won 25 Super Bowls with no receivers. He makes everybody better. That's not what Lawrence and Tagliabue do. They don't make anybody better, or Jackson or Fields. Where's their receivers? Everybody says they don't have a receiver. They need to draft with the number 1 pick a receiver. That's the worst pick you can make. First of all, more than likely the guy's going to get hurt. Second of all, You got good receivers all over the place. UCLA, Utah, Oregon, TCU. Jesus Christ. Why do you need an injured guy out of Ohio State as your number one pick? You should trade the one pick, have 2 or 3 first rounders, and grab some receivers from these schools I just named. Go get guys from Oregon, Washington. Jesus Christ. Baylor, TCU, you score 40 points a game and you got good receivers there, right? Anyway, that's my point. So Cincinnati, all 8.5s and 40.5. Both defenses are under defenses, which we saw the Niners give up 23. So we've got over defenses in the San Diego, Jacksonville. That was a high scoring. We got over defenses in Miami, Buffalo, because Buffalo's an 18 with Von Miller. Without Von Miller, they gave up 29 to Miami last time. What did they give up last week? They gave up 23 to New England. So don't tell me Buffalo's got an elite defense. So even though it's 18, I make them an over. The Giants and Mini are pretty much over defenses. So here we get into the other defenses. Baltimore, Cincy, Dallas, Tampa are both pretty strong under defenses. Baltimore plays a low-scoring game. They have no offense. They have no quarterback, and their defense is okay. Cincinnati beat them 27-10 last week. Again, for a 37, the over's 40.5 here. It's probably an under because Baltimore's not going to do a lot of scoring, but they'll maybe hold Burrow again into the mid to upper 20s. And Burrow, an A team. They're the best team, best offense and defense, and Chase. We all know Burrow and Chase. T. Higgins, he's okay. He's not. Give him Bote instead of T. Higgins. You'll see a real team. So what you got is Cincinnati. It's a better bet, I think, laying the 2.5 than figuring out then trying to go under, maybe an under 46.5 would be. I'll mark these last 2 games under. Miami, Buffalo. We'll go over with it just for the hell of it. So again, you got Baltimore, Huntley. He's looked terrible. And Cincinnati just played him, so they know all the gimmicks. All right, Baltimore knows their plays. Good luck stopping them. I mean, it's still Burrow and Chase. What are you going to do? How are you going to stop them? You can't stop him, even though you know he's running crossing patterns. Oh, big deal. What are you going to do about it? So Baltimore is okay. Terrible coaching, as we know. Cincinnati sees there. So as Baltimore sees Cincy's offense, Cincy sees Baltimore's defense. So they'll know exactly what it is and how to attack it. You can't really – what are you going to change your defense? It's either zone or man. That's it. You don't have a whole lot. You blitz them or you don't. Well, they've got all the blitzes from last week. That shouldn't surprise them. Burrow's too clutch. Burrow's Joe Montana. They're going to win. 8.5. You go down to 2.5. They're at home. They're pissed off at this whole coin flip shit. Baltimore, I just have the built-in excuses. Well, Lamar didn't play. We had to play the second teamer, Huntley, who really sucks. So you got to go with Cincy laying the 2.5. They're the hottest team. They just beat Baltimore. I think they beat them both times. But anyway, look for Cincy minus 2.5 with you got to bet Joe Montana over Huntley. Dallas, Tampa, again, this game's even. Both under defenses. Tampa's an under team because of their coach is so bad at play calling. Brady, I think, is just taking it over. These runs every fucking time on first down, 1st and 10. Let's run Fournette up the middle for 2 yards. It's not even that they're gaining. So when Frisco runs McCafferty or they hand it off to Deebo Samuel and he gets 10 yards, how many 10-yard gains does Fournette get on first down? None. They're playing him for the run. He's running into a wall, and he gains 2 yards every fucking time. It's fucking embarrassing. So, and I don't know why Brady doesn't audible out of it. It's ridiculous. So anyway, Tampa doesn't score that much. Their defense is a 21. Now, even though Jacksonville's defense is a 21, I don't consider it the same as Tampa's defense is a 21. So I look for this game, 2 good defenses. Micah Parsons will make his presence felt. The kicker in the game is Prescott giving you 2 or 3 interceptions. and a fumble and a fumbled punt and a drop punt and a pick six. Too many errors by Dallas that are very all coaching. That should never happen. If the Giants won last week, Dallas was not going to win the division or be the 1 seed. It was unbelievable how they could lay down when the Giants could have beat Philly. They only lost by 6. So, again, Dallas as a road favorite, thank you very much. I take Tom Brady as a home dog all day long. So, 2.5, you got 8.5. How can you're going to get a blowout in Buffalo, and you'll get a good win with Cincy, but you're not going to get Dallas blowing out Tampa at Tampa with Tom Brady. It's never going to happen. If it happens, we lose. Okay, that's fine. But the bet has to be made now, and it's definitely take Tampa Bay as a home dog. I wouldn't touch Dallas as a road favorite after what they just pulled against Washington. Fuck them. And I did have a small bet on Dallas. All right, so we got Buffalo 35-10. We got Minnie and the Giants 30-27 game, which I don't know who's winning. And we got Cincinnati roughly. They won 27-10. Let's erase that to 30-14 today, or 30-17. The guy is going to kick a field goal. So 30-17, it should be a pretty easy, 10, 15-point win. Not a blowout, but it could be a blowout. Huntley will throw a few interceptions. I love Tony Dungy. Well, it's 27. I think Huntley can beat him. These guys on drugs, huh? This is why I always thought Dungy was a bad coach. And he never won a Super Bowl with Tampa, which he should have won 5 of them. And then he goes to Indy with Manning, and he keeps sitting him out, losing playoff runs 3-4 times because they had clinched. Again, I don't want to get anybody injured. It's fucking football. Jesus Christ. He got lucky to win the one against the Bears with Grossman at quarterback. I mean, what the fuck was that? So that's where I see that. So Dungy's on drugs if he thinks that Baltimore is going to beat Cincy. He said, well, they turned the ball over last week. So, if they don't turn it over, if Joe Montana plays for Baltimore today, they could win. I mean, come on, man. So you're disrespecting Burrow and Chase, and the Cincy defense was pretty fucking good. You're out of your mind. So even if it's close, Cincy wins by a field goal. But I think Cincy builds – they're good at, building the lead. Burrow's weird. He kind of, the pocket's collapsing, and then he dumps the ball out to Chase, or he dumps the ball out. And he's just so good at seeing the receivers and hitting them in the numbers where they can run after it. And I don't see how Baltimore is he just saw Baltimore. He knows their defense. So, again – like Cincy, and then we like Tampa. Tampa, again, 24-20. So those are your scores. We nailed the San Francisco score pretty much, just a little more points, but we set by 17. And we had San Diego in a close one, and they had them. How do you blow a 27-0 lead in the playoffs? It reminded me of when they played Miami in the 80s, and they got up Kellen Winslow and that whole game, Dan Fouts. They go up 24-0, and by half it's 24-all, and then they win it on a field goal in overtime. They had to go to overtime after a 24-0 lead with Eric Coryell. I mean, they just don't get it. They stop scoring for some reason, and they stop playing defense. Amazingly bad coaching at San Diego and at Denver and at Miami, and we can go down the list. Minnesota, Baltimore, Tampa Bay. I mean, there's so many bad coaches here. If Andy Reid's considered one of the top coaches, there's a problem. But Coach Pete, he's the man. He's the best coach by a wide margin. Look what he did yesterday with basically Geno Smith, and he still lights up the best defense with 23 points. That's good coaching. All right, so that's what we got. As far as trend-wise, we've got play against Tampa, 15-2. Play against Dallas is a road favorite, 8-2. We got Minnesota 11-1 as a home favorite, 10-2 play against. Where have we heard that one from? Oh, San Diego. Play against Minnesota overall, 41-9. Play against San Diego was a big number. I didn't even put it down. So I mean, San Diego was 14-2 play, 14-2 play against. And that's exactly what you got. And that's what Minnesota is. 10-2 play against home favorite, 11-1 play on home favorite. So you know it's going to be a close game because Minnesota doesn't have the defense to put you away. How did the 49ers do it? Well, look, they kept scoring, and their defense blitzed, and they went after the quarterback. That's how you put a team away. But for some reason, San Diego can't. Minnesota can't. Cincinnati can, and then Dallas can't. So, again, it all comes down to the coaching and the defense. So, with that said, those are your picks. Hey, Ryan, that Chargers coach has to go. How he lasted this one? Well, he's no better than the last Charger coach who did the same fucking thing. You've got all that talent. You got a 27-0 lead, and you lose the game to Trevor Lawrence, who gives you 4 interceptions. How the fuck do you lose that? What are you doing on defense in the second half? You know he's throwing the ball. He should be blitzed every play. We're playing not to lose, so we're going to play this deep zone and give them all these short passes. Well, the whole reason you got ahead is you were playing the short passes, getting all the interceptions, then you got away from it. What did he do? How many 5-yard passes did he hit? How many behind the line that went for 10 yards? What the fuck were they doing? You have the game plan, stick to it. Don't start playing cute going, we'll play not lose, because you know what happens when you play not to lose? You fucking lose. That's why San Diego is 20-1 as a favorite and 20-1 bet against as a favorite. So as Nick's pointing out, probably a fixed game. I don't even know. I think it's just bad coaching. But either way, we got exactly what we thought. Take the Chargers or bet against them. It doesn't matter. We didn't think Trevor Lawrence. We got the 4 interceptions. We knew we'd get 4 from him. It's the 4 touchdowns that was a joke. You got Boza and Khalil Mack and James is your safety, and you're giving up 4 fucking touchdowns in the second half, and you score 3 points. You got 27-7 at half. You score 3 points on this joke defense with your offense. See, all San Diego had to do was get another 14. The game's over. Why did they stop scoring? They couldn't stop them. That's really the issue. The Niners, what did they do? They were 17-16 at half. They end up with 41. That's what a winning team does. How the hell does San Diego have 27 points, getting 4 turnovers? They stop giving the ball to Eckler. They stop too many passes with Herbert with a big lead. You're not running the clock. You're not blitzing Lawrence anymore. What are you doing? What got you there, you're not doing anymore. So why not? So Buffalo, McDermott's pretty good at putting and against Thompson, I don't see how Miami comes back. Minnie and the Giants, Minnie doesn't have, they could get a 30-0 lead. They would not hold it. Baltimore, Cincy, I don't love Cincy's coach, but I love Burrow and the backup. And then Dallas, Tampa, it doesn't matter how bad the coaching is. Brady's going to be the offensive coordinator. And this is why we trust Brady as a home dog. I mean, give me a break. Ryan, if you're the Chargers, why wouldn't you stay aggressive? You're up 27-0 and you want to switch it up. Why? They should have won 45. Exactly. Because they're playing not to lose because their coach is a fucking idiot. You got them down in a playoff game. You put your foot on their neck. You break their neck. That's what the good teams do because they don't have a good enough defense. The old Packers, even the Niners, what would the Niners do with Montana? They would have scored a few more points and their defense would have shut them down. When you don't have a defense like San Diego doesn't, you need to score more. And with that offense, where the fuck was Eckler on the second possession? They get the ball at the 10-yard line. He's not even in the game and they're passing. Then you saw him on the sidelines bitching, going, why am I not getting the ball? And then the next drive, he gets it and he walks in for a touchdown. You're like, What the fuck? Who's coaching this? You cannot throw the ball inside the 10 for points. It's extremely, extremely difficult because there's no room to go, and you got 8 guys playing defense. Your quarterback can't run. There's no room for but if you run it and they can't stop it, it doesn't matter. What are they going to do? Put 11 guys in the box? You're running Eckler around left end. He walks in. I mean, that's why you need to run the ball, and you need to run it in the red zone. So these teams that don't run, and you see them throwing the ball, kicking field goals, AKA, we know that's what Minnesota's got Cook, but they don't use them well enough in the red zone. Buffalo, they just run Josh Allen. So that's one good thing about Josh Allen. Miami doesn't have any running backs today. Cincinnati can run Mixon, so they score. Baltimore doesn't have running backs. Maybe J.K. Thompson. See, that's where they rely on Lamar to score those touchdowns. He's out. Huntley ain't going to score. Dobbins maybe a little, but since he's strong, and then Tampa's got Fournette. Dallas has Elliott, who you'd think should run it more. What play I really hate is this quarterback sneak where there's 5 guys behind him pushing him. What the fuck is that? That's not pro football. That's rugby. We're not watching rugby. And that hurt Jalen Hurts, and I'm sure it hurts other quarterbacks. It hurt Mahomes on a quarterback sneak when he fucked his knee up. That's not a good play because you're going to enter. If you're going to do that and you're so obvious about it, when you've got 3 guys right behind him, maybe it should be a running back getting the snap because you're telling them you're going to quarterback sneak. Why would you injure your quarterback? So it should be a good running back with some guards or fullbacks behind him or tight ends pushing him in if you want to do that, but it's still insane. Run the Dave Casper play action pass, tight end will be wide open. What are you fucking around doing a rugby play for? It's so stupid. It's not football. I mean, it's just pathetic. The thing I'm going to hate the most is the first game because I got to listen to Tony Romo pretend like he knows what he's doing, but he never won a playoff game. I think he won one. He beat the Lions. So really, he didn't win one. It's so hard to listen to. It's like Collinsworth. He's such a bad announcer. God, it's like you just turned the sound off. I had to turn the sound off when they were doing the Trevor Lawrence interview at the end. It was like 5 minutes. I got it on mute. I don't want to hear that yet. Let's talk about the 4 interceptions, Trevor. What the fuck were you drinking on those? Then when they let you have the passes, yeah, you look like a star. Okay. Brady is the only guy that can run a good quarterback sneak. He picks it up. Yes, but it's not this push. You don't want Brady being pushed. Have Fournette get it. But here's the problem that I hate. Okay, if I'm the offensive coordinator, you never know what I'm doing, right? Just like poker. The key to poker is you don't know if I got a full house or I got a 5 high. You don't know, and I don't show you. My poker face is I look into the table like this, and you don't have a fucking clue. You get no read on me unless I want to give you a false read where I knock the chips over or I look nervous or something. On purpose, I'm false telling you. Why would you ever line up with the quarterback and 2 blockers behind them saying we're going to do a quarterback sneak? Why would you do that? I would nail the fucking quarterback, man. This guy would have broken bones all over if you do that to me. I never want you to know what I'm doing. So I would never give away my play and say, here, beat it anyway. Fuck that. If I want to run a quarterback sneak, I might have 4 wide receivers out there. I mean, I am not going to bring everybody inside. Everybody knows, it's the quarterback sneak push. And I hate when the other thing I hate is when you have no running back in the backfield. Obviously, you're passing. And with 5 wide receivers, the amazing part with 5 wide receivers, you'd think there'd be 5 guys open, right? How are they going to cover 5? And yet, you'll see the quarterback sit there with 5 wide receivers for 5 seconds because you can't find anybody open. How the fuck can they cover 5 wide receivers? All you got to do is just do up and then cross. So they can't cover it. There's a play that I used to run where I would go up into the corner and then I pivot underneath and run a post. You couldn't ever cover it because you're the defensive guy. So I'm going to the corner, you're jumping it, then I reverse. Now I'm in the lead, and it's like a block out in basketball. You can't cover it. Never. Nobody could cover it. Deion Sanders couldn't cover it because he's got to be in front here, and then once you change it, now you're in front. He can't be in front both places. So maybe run that play, but you can't play 5 wide receiver with no running back. You've got to at least have a running back, so they have to look at play action pass because it freezes everybody, and that's the whole point. So no play should ever be 5 wide receivers or a quarterback sneak with 3 guys behind them pushing and no wide receivers, and they know what the play is. Those offensive coordinators should all be fired. They're not good offensive coordinators. And they probably all do get fired. Look at this Lombardi for San Diego. He should be fired. He takes Eckler out. He doesn't use Eckler on the second one, and they lose by 1. They miss a field goal. I'd fire the field goal kicker. He hits all his field goals except for the one that he needs for the playoffs. Well, that's why you need the kicker. You need the kicker for the playoffs. You don't need him to beat Houston, for Christ's sake. Look at Robbie Gould. He nails all of his kicks. I don't know why the Bears let him go. I mean, it was maybe a money issue, but how the fuck do the Bears? And then the Bears can't find a kicker, and you had Robbie Gould. Like, what are you thinking about? So anyway, that's what we like today. Buffalo is your free pick. I have a lot going. And then we've got, Buffalo free, Minnesota over the Cincinnati with Burrow, and Tampa Bay as a home dog. One of those is a lock. That goes with San Diego. So San Diego's lock wins very easily. I turned it off at 27-0 and put on a movie. I kept checking. It was such a long game. I kept checking, figuring, the game's over. And they were up 30-20, and I go, I got 3.5, 4.5. Okay, I'm fine. And as it turns out, it was perfect because they kicked the field goal to win by 1 instead of going to overtime, where probably they're going to be by 3, and that's why I wanted over 3. That's why I was surprised by the line being 2.5. I didn't understand the line. You would make it a 3, but Jacksonville should have been the favorite. I still would have locked San Diego, so it's really ironic. I lock them anyway, and they win. But the spread should have been Jacksonville -3. So my spread today, Buffalo -10, but that's with Tagliavoa. Mini -7 because Giants lay down, but it's 3. Cincinnati -10 with Lamar Jackson. So without him, it's probably a 14. And then I got Tampa -3, and they're getting 2.5. Again, I don't get the 2.5. That doesn't make sense why you would have a line at 2.5 because you can't win with it. So it's almost like they're telling you to bet Dallas, and again, who gets into that? And they go with that. So now, yesterday I promised you, so that's football. Buffalo, Giants over, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay. All right. Now I'm going to give you some cards. Now, we were talking with Bobby. Bobby, where are you? You're late. You're fine. 2 ounces of silver. Real quickly, I ended up going 75 hours on my fast. So I wanted to do 72, which is a 3-day, which ended at 3. And I just wasn't that hungry after 72 hours. So I go buy my silver and gold. I go to the swim and soak my foot. And I get home and it's 4:30 and I'm watching the game and I'm going, okay. So I wait till 6 o'clock on the nose. And then I have my chicken and I have my sloppy joe. And then I eat at 6 o'clock, which was 75 hours. And I just thought, like in Cool Hand Luke, he says, why 50 eggs? He says, it's a round number. It was 75. And I said, that's a nice round number, 75. and that's when I broke my fast. And I ate good, but I started eating the sloppy Joe, and I put the chicken on a salad. So I had that. I had my avocado, and then I got full because how much you're going to eat. And then I ate a little bit later, but it was just so good to eat. I mean, you don't realize the sensation you get. I saw Huntley passing yards over under is 150. I was tempted to bet the over. My think is they're going to probably be trailing by, at least most of the game, thinking he will throw at 30. Yeah, but okay, Trevor Lawrence throws these short passes. Now, answer this one, Riddler. Does the sacks count against his throwing or against his running? Because Cincinnati is not going to be so polite as San Diego and stop blitzing. So look at the box score. I'll do it for you. Let's look at last week's box score, okay? And we'll get you a good answer. So last week, Baltimore played Cincinnati in a game Cincy had to win, which is the same thing as we're dealing with now. So let's look at the box score. So we go back. So we go back to week 18. And we pull up Baltimore, Cincinnati. 27-16 Cincinnati. Cincinnati gets up 20. It looked like San Diego. They get up 24-7 at half, but they only give Baltimore one touchdown or just field goals. So let's look at the box score. Yeah, Tucker kicks a 51-yard field goal, a 27-yard field goal, and a 20. So they couldn't score a touchdown on Cincinnati. Kenyon Drake ran one in. That was it. So let's look. A. Brown, 19 of 44. So we're following your lead, Ryan. They threw the ball 44 times. He throws for 286 yards and 2 interceptions and 4 sacks. Quarterback rating of 46. So 19 of 44. They run the ball. Kenyon Drake runs it 16 times. Hill for 7 and Gus Edwards 4. Drake got the touchdown. Mixon runs at 11, Perrine 6, Burrow 3. They got no rushing yards, but Burrow throws for 215, and he throws for 1 touchdown. So they're Mixon gets a touchdown, and then, of course, we know Jamar Chase got a touchdown. So he throws the ball 8 times to Chase, 5 to Boyd, 5 to Mixon, 4 to Hurst. 1 to Higgins, very balanced, but they couldn't cover Chase. Baltimore has this guy likely for 8, Sammy Watkins, who sucks for 2. Notice how the Clemson guys in the pros all suck. Etning, come on. I mean, all right, maybe he's an average running back, nothing special. So it's likely for 8 for 103, Watkins 2 for 79, and Kohler and Robinson, and I never heard of these guys. So if we go box score, A. Brown, never heard of him, 19 of 44 for 286 and 2 picks. They're probably better with A. Brown, and at least he saw him last week. So that's how you do it. You look at the box score and you get an idea. So yes, they threw 40 times with A. Brown, who I think was at Connecticut or some bullshit team. And he's your quarterback. So is Huntley any better? Probably not. Let's look at Huntley. Okay. Let me look at Huntley. NFL stats. We're going to look at quarterbacks. I got to get away from. Team season stats. Oh, I don't want team. I want individual. Individual season stats. Passing. All right, let's see. Lamar Jackson. All right, here's Huntley. Played in 6 games and a 67%, 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and he averaged 109 yards a game. That's Huntley. 2 touchdowns and 3 picks in 6 games. So good luck with that. Baltimore will be throwing a lot with a quarterback who doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns against the defense that's going to play the pass once they get the lead. Well, we don't know that 150 is a crazy low. You're assuming it's Joe Montana at quarter or Burrow. You know, what's Burrow at? Again, this isn't the game. I would go to the Buffalo game against a weak Miami team and look at what's Cook. I would look at Cook running the ball. I would look at Allen throwing for 300 yards. McKenzie's a little injured, so who's their other receiver? That's what I would look at. See, when you play these things, don't fuck around with this good defense of Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati's got a 20 defense. It's like fucking around with Frisco. Now, you would have won with Metcalf, but that's it. I don't know if Walker would have covered your prop. However, if you would have went to San Diego or Jacksonville, when you do this, you want to go against Miami because their defense sucks. You want to go pick Barkley against Minnesota. They have no defense. So you've got to be strategically smart in this. You don't want to play over props against strong defensive teams. That's why it is 150. What is the number in your head? See, again, you've got to erase that. You've got to say to yourself, what do I think Huntley's going to do? Do you think he's going to throw for 200 yards? Okay. Do you think he's going to throw for 100 yards? I don't think. I think a guy throws 2 interceptions and maybe gets 100 yards because he runs a little bit, but he's a terrible quarterback. So why would you play him in this game against this defense? You're better off playing what's Brady's numbers tomorrow? What's Burrow's numbers? Although it's Baltimore's defense. I would go to the Giants mini or take Jefferson or take Cook. Cousins. Why don't you go to Prescott to throw 2 interceptions? That should be a lock. That should be even money. Or take Buffalo against Miami. They have no defense. That's really where you want to go, is against these really weak defenses, which is what we do in college, right? What do? We bet against Kansas. We bet the over in the Kansas game, in the TCU game, in the Oklahoma game. They have no defense. They give up 50 points a game. They do score 50, so they're beautiful overs. But if you want to play this shit, which I hate, well, I get you're tempted because of the number, but you're not reading the defense. Go to the Buffalo game and find Allen and Cook and whoever their receiver is and go with that. Go to the Giant mini game where the defense is not to be seen. Jefferson and Cousins to throw 5 interceptions and Cook to run for 100 yards and Barkley to run for 100 yards. Those are your games. You can't look at the number. You got to look at the defense. That's how you have to play. That's how you play everything, is the defense. If it's good, you don't fuck with it. If it's bad, then that's where you hammer it. So, no, it's okay, Ryan. I'm just trying to help you out here. So, with that said, and we know our football, so it's Buffalo free pick, Giants Miami over, Baltimore Cincy. We like Baltimore, especially under 3. And now to go to Nick's point where the game might be fixed, not at 2.5, Cincinnati 2.5, it ain't fixed. It might be fixed where they can't win by more than 8. They'll win by 7. That's conceivable, but not 3. And then Dallas, Tampa, we take Brady as a home dog all day long. Well, that's why you're here, Ryan. This is a class, and I'm teaching, and that's what I do. Is I'm not Madoff. I don't hide things from you and say you can't ask a question and get all mad. I get frustrated over these idiots, but I mean, I don't get mad at the class unless you start insulting, like the guy who insulted Bobby. Then yeah, I get mad about that. So that's what we have. So let me get into a little bit of sports cards for the Knicks and Bobby's and the other anybody interested. So here we have the Drew Brees rookie card. It's a beautiful card. It's a Topps Heritage Drew Brees. See, he's on San Diego. Now, the appealing part is here. Now, we were talking about numbers yesterday. Bitcoin, 21 million. Drew Brees rookie card, 558, 556. And you can see it says 481 of 556. There's only 556 of these cards. This is gem mint condition. Just got to get it graded. But here, once you got into these 2000 cards, the quality control is much better. You don't have the centering issues that you have in, do I have an old card that had centering issues? No, I didn't pull those. So that's my point. Would you rather have this card that's only going to go up in value? It's Drew fucking Brees. Will go into the Hall of Fame. He did win 1 Super Bowl. And again, this is the difference between him and Brady. He won 1 Super Bowl. Should have won a lot more. They got fucked by the refs in the Viking games, but should have won more. He did beat Peyton Manning, which I loved. So that's the idea, is you want the limited. Here's another Brees rookie card. This is his Topps Chrome. I believe it's no, it's not a refractor. I don't think it is. No, it is a refractor. This is a refractor card. You can tell by the shine on it. So this is another Brees Topps Chrome rookie, which is better. That's what I'm looking for in the Burrow and the Mahomes. Where's the Topps Chrome? Now, what do we have? We also have a number. This is 774 out of 999. It's extremely limited. They only made 999, and you can see it says 774. So they're actually counting them. Now I know it's limited. It's a refractor. It's another PSA 10. It's perfectly centered, up and down, side to side. A refractor. It's perfect. This card, I think, is probably worth $10,000 to $20,000 PSA 10, which this should be. Plus, it's a refractor. Now, the older cards, this is the normal look on this set is silver. This is a Ymer Jaeger. I have a Lemieux and a Gretzky. They're in the safe. This is probably worth $5,000. This is a Jaeger gold, the normal card silver. You can see there's no sides to worry about. It's a good picture. There's no damage to the corners. It's a perfect card. This is limited, and at this point, this is what, 19. Good God. Fuck. This is like, I think, 1992 or 1993. You can see they only made 2,500 of these. So what first came out was limited, and then it went to 2,500 was limited, and then you can see, 300 for the Drew Brees. There's even ones that are 25 and 50, which I will show you. So a 2,500 count. You know who came up with that? I did. I'm at a card show talking to Beckett. This guy writes for Beckett, and I said to him, why don't they have limited cards? And he looked at me, and I go, well, because they make so many of them, everybody gets fucked because you buy it, and then, it's too. I said they need to be limited and numbered. And what did they do? Like a year later, Professor again does the whole sport. 823 out of 2,500 Jaeger. Now here's a Barry Sanders card. Now this was a little earlier. Now you can see it says peel off. You never peel. You always keep the card in the condition it came out of the pack, which was this. You don't peel it off. It affects the value. Here's a Barry Sanders. It's a Pinnacle certified, but it's a pretty card, and they come in blue. The blue's more limited. So I got this, not for a lot. Now we see 1905 out of 549.99. So now they started making, this is 5,000 count. The blue one, I think, is 2,500. Yeah, here's a blue one. So here's a blue Mariano Rivera, same thing, and you can see it's only $19.99. So you can see where they're limiting this. There's only $19.99, and Bitcoin wants to tell me 21 million's limited. When I got $19.99, fucking Mariano Rivera, the best reliever ever to play, he probably could strike Bobby out, I think. And here's Barry at 5,000, but it's Barry Sanders. So this is what I would collect, is these. Now we'll get into a Jerry Rice. A little bit later, it's a score select. It's gold. The normal card is just a normal pitcher, not gold. And this is now a 99 count. 33 of 99 for Jerry fucking Rice. Again, a PSA 10, perfect card, cornered, centered, everything, sharp pitcher. This is how I would buy. I would go to the card, I keep wanting to call it the card show, and I would look for this. And I would look Jerry Rice, Barry Sanders, Derek Jeter, Rivera, Frank Thomas, Ken Griffey Jr., Montana Marino, all those guys was all I would get. So here's another Rice. It's a beautiful card out of 99. So the 99, so you know they didn't make a lot of it. And so this is all sky high. I just need to get them graded 10. But at the time, there was no grades when I bought this. This is year 2000. Maybe you started getting graded in there. I don't even know if they'd start. Maybe they did, but it wasn't a big deal. It didn't show a big price, so you never really, why would I get it graded? You never thought that, because I know this is gem mint condition. So I didn't really go for the grade. Now here is the PS. Oh no, this isn't it. Didn't I have a Brady? So here's a John Elway and a Bowman. And beautiful card. I got Elway, I got Marino, I got Barry, I got Emmett, and boom, and it's 99 count. So now you get an understanding. You know this is limited. I laugh at Bitcoin because this is limited. 99 count of a fucking Elway, Hall of Famer. Here's a Brady card. Just a bullshit card. It's okay, American flag, but it's 1250 count. So imagine having a 1250 count Brady card, which is what I have here. I could get it. So this is 105 at 1250. Now for Bobby, this is for you, Bobby. Here's a Barry Bonds Topps red label. It comes out gray. There's a black label, which isn't numbered. Then there's the red label. This is a beautiful card by Topps. This is like the prettiest card. And they do the red label that. And guess what this is? This is number 15 out of 100. So it's numbered. It's a little hard to see. It's in white. There's some in black, and we can't really see it. Yeah, I gotta get the right angle, but it's maybe there it is. Yeah, 15 out of 100. Let's see at the McGuire. Here's a McGuire one. So it's the same set. McGuire when he's hitting 72 home runs, and this is 38 out of 100. So this should be worth a ton, but it isn't. But that's, again, the numbering. And then I got one other one, a Ben Roethlisberger rookie. I didn't get a lot of Roethlisberger cards, but again, this is out of 799. So thanks to me, we had these numbering. And now you know the card's limited, sort of like PSA 10. And this is what I have the Brady in. This is not the Brady card. This is a Marks of Art Pacific. You can see a Vanguard. You can see how beautiful these cards are. But if you notice here, they only made 83 of these. The Brady ones, I think, out of 366. But you can see the number on the front. You can see, look how pretty this card is by Vanguard. I got a whole couple of sets of this. But you can see why do I want to buy the box, as was brought up yesterday, and buy the set? That's meaningless. And here I went and bought the 99 count. Oh, instead of the set, you're not going to get the inserts if you buy the hobby box. And what if I got Joe Blow? That's what I got with Mark Savard, right? I don't want Mark Savard. How much am I going to get? See, that's my whole point. Where is he? How much am I going to get for this card, even though it says 83? A couple $100 versus the Elway card that's 99. I'm going to get more for Elway because he's Elway. He's more popular, more demand than this guy who I've never heard of. And some people probably have. So you can see the different designs, the different as they came down. In the beginning, it's a 5,000 count. Then it goes down to a 1,200 count. Then it finally goes to a 100 count. I do have a 25 count Brady in the safe. That's not a rookie card. And then I have some other Brady's. I got a 25 count Manning autograph. If anybody wants to, we can negotiate on that. I can show you that. Anybody wanting to buy any of these, they're not graded. There you can see the condition. Give me an email. We can talk. My problem right now is I got like so many of these cards because I got Elway, Marino, Montana, Rice, Berry, Emmett. It's just, I'm thinking about how am I going to sell all these cards with the value. So the girlfriends are going to have to learn how to get them graded and sell them. So that'll be something that'll be their job, and I'll have to teach them. And I got to teach them who's the star players. You want Barry, you don't want Chucky, whoever that is. So that's card collecting. I told Bobby I'd get into it a little bit. These are other assets. I don't see any difference between this card that's 99. This is why you frame them, right? So you can handle them. I see no difference between this card, Jerry fucking Rice, the best receiver, and they only made 99 of them, against Bitcoin. This is not money. To get money, I have to sell this. I have to sell this to get that. I have to sell my Rolex to get this. I have to sell my painting to get this, to then pay bills. What do I do with Bitcoin? I got to sell the Bitcoin to get money to pay bills. The difference is Bitcoin is not money. It is not gold. It's the only one thing that's gold. It's fucking gold. Gold's gold. That's it. There's no substitute for gold. I know we talk substitute. There is no substitute for gold. Silver is different, but they're both real money where I can actually spend that. I can walk into the restaurant with silver, pay for my meal, and the guy will take it very happily at this price. Wait till it goes to the moon, as I have stated. So I wanted to pull these out to just show you the different flavors, how you invest. You take a Jerry Rice, you buy, So what do I got? I got a Rice. I got, what have I done? I've got a Jaeger, and I got a Rivera, and I got a Drew Brees rookie, and I got a Jerry Rice. So I'm all over the place. But what did I get? What do you notice? I got superstars, right? Jaeger and Rivera's a Yankee, which is a premium, and then Rice is God, and then Drew Brees, who's Hall of Famer. All these cards. I mean, I think this card graded 10 is like $20,000. I don't know what this card graded is. I don't see it graded. And then this card's got to be 10 grand, 10. Maybe not that much, but again, it's limited. And then that card. So you're looking at pretty big fucking prices. And a lot of these haven't been graded yet because they're still grading the regular Michael Jordan hoops and that. But when I do see a refractor, when I see this card, right, when I see this card, this usually has a pretty good value. Now, do I need to really get this graded 10? Do I need to get this graded? This is my question. You only made a fucking, this is 15 out of 100, which I know is hard to see, but, well, we'll show you the McGuire. So if there's only 100 of these cards, do I really need to get it graded? The reason you get it graded is, you want to make sure it's real. You want to make sure it's gem mint condition. Then you get more value. People are going, okay, it's graded PSA 10. I trust it. And off I go. Where do I need to get a 25 count graded? Because there's only 25 of them anyway. So if I want the card, it's not like I can be picky. Do I need to get a PSA 10? That's really my question to myself is, do I really need a PSA 10 of a 25 count or a 50 count? There's not a lot of them. There's probably not a lot on auction. If I did do a 50 count, Barry Sanders, how many of those are even up for auction? So you probably have that. So anyway, what else was I going to talk about? Trip to the gold store yesterday. So let's show you some pictures. It's for you, Bobby. Where's Bobby? He's always tardy. Okay. Okay. At the gold store, this is what he had. And he said he got a delivery. The 4 on the bottom were all Liberties. Let me blow it up a little bit. So the 4 on the bottom were Liberties. Those were going for $2,080. Now, to refresh your memory, these were, all right, let's say it was a little bit more for the Eagle than the Cougaran. So as you can see, I paid $1,874. So let's say it was $1,920 for the Eagle back December 3rd. These were now $2,100 for the ones on the bottom. For the Eagles, $2,100. This Buffalo head was $2,100. Then they had then there's this, which is Swiss Bank. This is a 1 ounce bar. And then I got were these 2 quarter ounces right here. Those were quarter ounce Eagles. I bought those for $5.76. I bought both of them. And then they had these are the 2 under them. So these 2 were tenth of an ounce. They were $2.76. I need to go buy one more to get to my figure that I want to get. But so I bought these 2 at $5.76. These 2 were $2.76. This is 1/10 of an ounce. If an ounce is $2,100, they really should be $2.10, but they do get a premium of it. Now, why am I buying like this? These quarter ounces for $5.76. So it was good to see him. He does have this one's a Maple Leaf, Bobby, if you're interested. This was $5.76. I'll blow it up. There's a Maple Leaf. So there's a Maple Leaf gold. And then there was, so there's the Maple Leaf gold. And then you have this, the bottom one is 1/10 of an ounce. And you can see the difference. And then the one above is the quarter ounce. So I bought the quarter ounce. I thought about the Maple Leaf, but I didn't mind the American. And then it wasn't, I don't think there was a difference in price. And then the 1/10 of an ounce, which I've got to go back because I'm a half an ounce. I got 0.95 ounces. I want to get to the next level. So I got to go back so I can then go over by 0.05. So that's 276. That's 576. This is 2100 for the ounce eagles. So that's what I ended up getting was the quarter ounces. Now, why? Well, when gold hits 50,000 an ounce and all I have is ounces, I got to sell it for 50,000. But if I got a quarter ounce and I sell it, I'll get what, 15,000, 12,000 for it. Well, that's fine. So I'll take 12,000. Maybe I want the 12,000 for the quarter. Maybe that's what I want. I don't want the 50. Worry about taxes and worry about this and that. Maybe I don't want that. I just want the quarter. Now, I'm not saying there'll be taxes, and it depends. We need to find people that'll just pay for it and not get reported to the government. So I don't know if my coin store might 1099 me. I hope not. But we'll see. Anyway, so that's what we have. Now, that's what the guy had at the store. This is what I bought. And Bobby, you'll love this. So I bought the 2 coins and then these. These are silver coins you do not own. These are silver eagles. These are not the regular eagle money. These are silver eagles. Here, I'll blow them up. So these are silver eagles. These are American. God damn it. Why does that do that? I hate that. I'm trying to show it sideways so you get a good look at the picture. Anyway, that's an eagle. You can see it's U.S. It says 1 ounce, 999. This says 999 on it. This is a U.S. bullion. This is like the buffalo, but a variety for you, Bobby. So I bought 10 of them because I got the gold. So my whole purchase was these 10 at $28.40 a piece. So it cost me $284 plus the 2 gold quarters at $576. The ounce was $2,100. So what does that tell you? Now you've not only did the spot go up from 1776 to 1920, but now this is going up and up and up because of our Russian friends who we hate, but we love them. We love them for this, but we hate them for the stupid war. My girlfriend got a missile in her backyard yesterday, scared the shit out of her. They still don't have intermittent internet and heat and lights. So sometimes she's in candlelight, sometimes she has no heat. It does come back on and off. And imagine getting a bomb in your backyard, a big fucking Russian missile. See, this is where, like, when I hear people complaining, I go, be glad you're not in the fucking war in the Ukraine, right? That's what I would complain about. She doesn't complain. She says it's a fucking war, and she wants to go on a nice vacation when it's over. And, that's, it's terrible on her. How the fuck do they live? There's inflation. So I send her money. She's got to go to the bank and hope it's open and go get groceries and hope it's open. We can walk to Target and we don't have to worry about banks and stuff being open. So that's what I bought, Bobby. 10 silver ounces at $28.40 an ounce. This is why I tell you, you spent 38 on 2023s. We bought the same thing. I got an ounce of silver that says 1 ounce of silver on it. You bought a 1 ounce silver, but it's the exact same. You didn't buy it for the $1, and you certainly don't need a 2023. Now, I asked my guy, he doesn't have 2023s. He's got the 2022s. He had them at 35 an ounce. So be careful, Bobby. You're wasting money. The point is, when this hits 2,000 an ounce, that you have an ounce of silver. So that puts me up to 425 silver. And with another 1/10 of an ounce, I'll have 51 ounces of gold. And it's so cheap now. How do you not buy more? So after our discussion, now I'm reading on I'm reading on Google about these banks about to go under. And of course, it's Goldman Sachs that's in big trouble. All these derivative banks that thought they were smarter than the average bear are all getting fucked because they're getting stuck with it, and so they need they'll get bailed out. That's what when you see a bank. Oh, what it was there's that one story. Many people aren't plugging in their car. So they buy in these cars. This is what's deceiving. It's counted as an electric car, but it's a hybrid, gas and electric, and nobody's plugging in the electric. They're all using gas. So it's so ironic. There was a story yesterday about the banks laying off people. Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, and BlackRock are laying off people because they can't see their business is based on people buying their shit, which it ain't going to happen. Their other business is based on was selling and then people investing. Well, they're not going to invest. Interest rates are too high. And so most of the people they let go are like salesmen, like in margin call, where it's the sellers. Like the guy said in margin call, this guy was a risk analyst who found the problem. Why he couldn't find it and the rocket scientist had to find it is beyond me. Why was he even employed in the company if he can't find this simple thing? And at the end of the day, they let the risk manager go, which is wrong and stupid, because you let the sellers and you let the traders go because they're just salesmen. And if you're not selling, what's the point? But you can't let the risk people go. They're the ones who come up with everything unless you're closing the business, which they didn't do. I was confused by the movie Margin Call because they're laying off these people. Well, the first scene of the movie, they're laying off people. Why are you laying off the people in the first place? Because obviously your business is bad. So they already know their business is bad. So when they get told their business is bad again, they lay off more people. Then at the end, they're going to do more business. They need traders. So aren't you going to hire the guys back that you just laid off? Very confusing movie. When Hollywood gets finance movies, they really butcher them. Why would you lay off all your traders if you're not going to, and you're still going to do trading? You're a trading company. Just beyond me. Anyway, that's how I see it. So we went through the sports cards. These are assets. They're very limited, not like Bitcoin. You can go on eBay and sell them, Bobby. If they're graded, again, how much do you need a 50 count graded versus just selling the 50 count? But maybe you need it, but it better be PSA 10. If it's PSA 9, I would just crack it out of the thing and just sell it as gem mint condition, I guess. Like this card, if this card doesn't come back at 10, I don't know why. It's perfectly centered. Corners are sharp, pitch are sharp. What's a 10 if this isn't a 10? Now, is that going to generate more revenue because it is a 99 count? Is that going to get me 10 grand, or why get it graded then? So keep that in mind. That's an asset. I can sell it for coins when I need to. If I need to get it graded, maybe I sell it without graded. I get a little less money, but I get money in. So we will see. This is my ace in the hole, are the cards and the gold. So I told my girlfriend, when gold goes through the roof, we're going to retire, and then we'll find a nice beach to live on. That's my life insurance. My life insurance is gold and silver. Who would buy a life insurance policy? Just buy gold and silver. That's my retirement. That's my life insurance. That's everything. And then we'll worry about the cards. We'll just give them away or sell them or whatever. So football again today. The free play is Buffalo. We like Buffalo by 35 to 10. Mini Giants, we like 30 to 27. We don't know who wins, but we like it over. Cincy Baltimore, we like Cincy about, let's say, 30 to 17. Somewhat of a close game, somewhat of a under game. Just with we'll see. But Burrow can get rocking, and he blew him out last year. He put up 40s on him. And then Dallas, Tampa, we got Brady as the home dog, 24-20 type of score. So that's your football, your free play. Gold, we showed you that the Russians are claiming they're buying physical, and they're coming out with a physical price, which we've been dying for 50 years because we haven't had a physical price. So once we get a physical price on gold, it'll be much, much higher, and silver, than these fake, phony prices of that. Again, here's a Drew Brees card, rookie card, and again, it's numbered out of 556, which is exactly what you're trying to do, is buy star players that are limited. That is the key to sports card collecting. That'll give you the most bang for your buck. The key is to go to a card show, see how this is perfectly centered. It's going to get a PSA 10, and you get it for $50. I don't even know what you're going to pay for these 99 counts now. But it's probably not a lot, but if you get them graded, and I'm sure they'll be worth a whole lot more once the shit hits the fan. So banks are starting to lay off. Keep your eye on that. Gold's been going up $120 in a month. Look for more. Look for a big fucking increase soon. Same with silver. That lid's about to blow, and when it does, you're going to see. That's why I ran and got 10 more at 20. It's still $28. I'm like, holy fuck, you guys got to be kidding me. They're just salesmen, and they just got the product and they move their inventory, which is free market economics. You're all trying to move your inventory. It's not like the government sets the price. It's the store dealing with other stores setting the price, and the government does sell it to them at probably $24, and they're selling it for $28. And this is why they say, oh, we only make $4 or $5 a sell if you get it from the government. When you buy it from the people, you're paying them, you're probably paying them $24 also, but you're selling them for $35 if they're the real money, the eagle or the gold. You're paying $19.25 now, and you're selling it for $2,100. So don't tell me you're making $5. You're making $5 if you get it from the government. Well, no, you're still making, because they're selling it to you for $19.29, and you're selling it for $2,100. Look for it to keep going up. I think NASDAQ has been blown up. Look careful with these banks. JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Goldman Sachs are all starting to lay off people. Take that as a sign, just like the point spread dropping, right? So the point spread went from 10 to 13 on the Buffalo game for a reason, and they're laying off because they are knowing there's a depression right around the corner. The volcano's erupting. The lava's starting to come out. That's where we're at now. You cannot listen to the news. They don't have a fucking clue, and they don't want to tell anything because Biden wants to look good, because all he cares about is power and control. That's all the Keynesian / monetarist / socialist, communist, fascist want, is control over us and power over us. And that's what they're doing to get it. So they don't want us in gold and silver, because then they don't have power over us. They can't tell me my gold or silver went down. Once it hits free market, thank God for the Russians and Chinese. There's one thing we got to thank God for, is they're getting the price to a normal, real price. Once that happens, then U.S. can't control it. The U.S., this is going to zero. Nobody wants it. They're all afraid of sanctions. Don't ever forget that, Michael. Don't ever forget to check the phones. Yeah, I go into a little Godfather, but don't ever forget that nobody wants this. The BRICS countries who are getting bigger and bigger. Nobody wants to do business with the U.S. anymore. It's going bankrupt. The debt's huge, 130, I think it was like 130% of the GDP. That's how big the debt is. So just imagine you owe, $1 million on your home. What are you going to do? You can't pay it off. So what are you going to do? So that's what's happening. So the debt, yes, you got to be careful of the debt. Football is starting. If you want to go tomorrow, we will get more into this. I'll be on a little later tomorrow. I got to take my car in for an oil change at Toyota. I get it free because I give the guy economics tips and sports tips, and talk to them about gold, try to educate them on gold and silver. The manager's into Bitcoin, so I've been trying to talk him out of it. And then the finance manager who gives me the free oil changes, I give him gold and silver tips. So that's about, I think, 11 o'clock. So I'll be on a little bit later in the afternoon for that. So I'll stay on a few more minutes. We'll watch the Buffalo Miami. I'll probably go to the pool during the Giants Minnesota game. And you go on YouTube and you watch them anyway. So like I saw the Frisco game on YouTube and the Jacksonville. Like I turned it off at 27-0 to watch some movies because I said, well, what's the point? And then when they came back, I went, what happened? And I knew what happened. They didn't blitz as much. And where was their offense? And that's really coaching. Terrible play calling. Too much passing, I thought. Run Eckler. They can't stop them. Screens, little play. Because they were blitzing San Diego. Well, just screen them and draw them. You'll score. You got to score more points than the 30 you had if you're going to play defense that badly. So anyway, that's what we got today. Good luck today. Hope you win. I got one lock going today. And it was played with San Diego yesterday. So that was my lock, San Diego plus today's game, which I will reveal tomorrow. That's why you buy the picks, because you can't. How do you bet what I'm giving you? And you don't even know if I'm playing. I'm not playing all these games that I'm giving you, most of them, but not all of them. Like I played Frisco and San Diego yesterday. I had bets on, but I don't have bets on everything today. So we will see. Anyway, www.teaserking.com. Look out for gold and silver. It's about to make its move. You've got the banks starting to lay off. I don't think these are investment banks. It's not where you have your money. I think that'll be safe. I think they just switch money. The banks are too important because they take your 10,000 and they make $100,000 out of it. And they need the deposit to make the money, right? So keep an eye on that. Watch the layoffs. They'll be getting bigger and bigger. And gold and silver will be jumping very, very soon. I know somebody asked me, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Let's say 2-3 months. Let's say 3. Let's take it a quarter at a time. Let's see where it is at March 7th on my birthday. And then we will see where it is June 1st. And then we'll keep going quarter by quarter. And it's the way it's going now, it went up $130 in a month in January once they blew up COMEX December 27th. So we will see. The Russians, Chinese want all their gold to go up in value. And again, the Russians have 12 to 15,000 tons. 32,000 ounces to a ton. Chinese have 40,000 tons times 32,000 ounces. So, yeah, they want the gold to go up. The U.S. doesn't because they know they don't have any. They know all these countries do, so they're really scared. But J.P. Morgan's got some gold. Anyway, it's really hard to get a firms that I know what Russia and China have, and I know India's got a lot in Iran, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. I know they have a lot of gold, and they're buying it feverishly. And I know the U.S. doesn't have any, and they're not buying it. They're too stupid because they're all Keynesians who believe, we'll just keep printing money. And they don't understand. You print the money, you cause the inflation, you lose the value of your currency. So things cost more. It is not prices that create inflation. It is the value of the dollar is the inflation. That's a very simple concept that nobody wants to tell you, because then it looks like if you understand that, you realize they're the ones printing the money, they're printing too much. But if you call it prices increase, then it's not my fault. I didn't raise the price. The oil company did, or Orioles did, or Coca-Cola did, not me. Yeah, you did by making the fucking dollars worthless. So they raised the price to get the same amount, right? I want $10, but now it takes 15 to get my 10. So therefore, I got to raise the price on my $10 item to 15 to then get it. That's really what's happening. And the government doesn't want to take blame, because then they can't control and have power over us. And but that's how you get away: the gold and the silver and the cards and the diamonds and the nice paintings, the assets. The real assets are the how we can win, and that's the only way, because you don't want to hold dollars that's losing value. So if this was, that's the problem. If gold was losing value, I wouldn't tell you to buy it, but it can only go up because it's been so repressed down for so long that you let the foot off and it's boom. And that's why I'm telling you to buy it. It'll be protection, and you won't lose on the paper currency. So again, the Keynesians want you in paper because they just keep printing it. They want to control you, and they want to enslave us, and we're not going to let that happen. We are not idiots. Okay. We do our homework, we study it, we understand exactly what's going on, and we're not going to just sit there with our head in the fucking sand like most people in America do. Oh, I'll trust the government. They never lie to us. Yeah. 9/11. No, that was terrorist attacks. Yeah. You believe that? Sure you do. All right, everybody, let's go watch some football. If you need me, www.teaserking.com. I still have a lot going later, and you can get my email if you need some questions, comments answered. That would be fine. All right, everybody. Bobby, have a nice day wherever you are. Again, missing the show. You're fined $2 silver for missing the show, Bobby. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Take care. Good luck. I hope you make some money today and enjoy. It's Sunday.